Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalika and after Revenge Week 2.0 it's time to bring a little wholesomeness back into our lives. So you're gonna be a happier person after watching this video. At 24 I also have a note from my dad that never leaves my wallet. I don't think he knows either. Happy 18th birthday, Cole. I wanted to tell you how proud I am of the man you've become. I know helping down at the cabin and moving furniture hasn't been all that much fun for you, but I loved us getting to spend time together these past couple of days. 18 years ago, Mum and I were sitting in the living room with you as everyone came by on their way to the cabin. Now you're driving me down there in your truck, or driving me around on the boat. For you, I know this seems like it took a long time to reach your 18th birthday. From my perspective, it happened overnight. You've been such a joy to be around and I'm going to miss you terribly when you leave for college. I greatly admire your positive attitude and your genuine pleasantness. I wish I could be like that instead of losing my cool and yelling all the time. Keep this camera gift just between us. Mum thinks you're going to buy it with the money you get for your birthday, along with some of your graduation money. Just pretend like you bought it. I wanted to get it for you for a lot of reasons, the least of which was scratching and denting your truck today. But mostly, it's because it's what you wanted, and you've earned it. How many parents are blessed with a son like you? Not many. I thought of a lot of things I wanted to write to you in this letter while I was mowing the yard, but it's late and I can't seem to focus enough to make all of this make sense. Just know that I'm very proud of you, and I love you very much. Love, Dad. By the way, destroy this letter or I'll get in trouble with Mum. Also, no weed eating on your birthday. I used the push mower and got it good enough. I had planned on weed eating, but it got too dark. We'll get it cleaned up next week. Have fun tomorrow! I just got an email from my 8th grade biology teacher congratulating me on my PhD. She helped me do a science fair project on the antioxidant content of honey that made me believe I could be a scientist when I grew up. Mentorship and representation really does matter. This is a perfect time to bring up the point I made a few videos ago. We need teachers like this. Passionate teachers who care about the kids. Give me all your money. I don't have any money, I'm in debt. Well, give me all your debt. Now you go home and get your life together. Mwah. My kid was upset about being in timeout, so she did the only logical thing her 4-year-old brain could think of, which was to act like a Pikachu using a thunder attack on me. Then we stared at each other in silence, until she whispered, "Nothing is working, she's too powerful." Told him to get off my lap cause I gotta work on the computer, so he moves and does this. He's so attached. I work in a major trauma hospital in London, and we once had this young boy arrive in the middle of the night, whose arm from the elbow down had been completely sliced off by a machete. The policeman arrived a few minutes later, looking as white as a sheet, holding a bag with the arm inside. This boy is knocking at death's door. The arm has a tourniquet on it, but he has lost so much blood that even after 16 units, the highest we could get his blood pressure was around 87 systolic. Within about 5 minutes of being inside our department, the boy gets rushed off to theatre, and when we turn the corner, all of a sudden we see the trauma surgeon running along the theatre floor. His sterile gown flying behind him looks like a goddamn cape, and it's like something out of a freaking movie. I wasn't present for the surgery, but I know he did it. He spent about 15 hours, but he reattached all the vessels, the ligaments, and everything that needed to be done for that arm. I think after a few months it was pretty much fully functional again. Might seem pretty non-superhero, but to me, he is a superhuman. My girlfriend asked what I wanted for dinner, so I said, "Surprise me?" This isn't what I was expecting. Oh my god, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. My dad still sleeps on the floor because we can't afford a medical bed, or he sleeps sitting up on the couch, and we rent a 3-bedroom house with 5 adults living in it. I run his appointments, schedule bill payments, and do all his banking. I also respond to emails for him sometimes. It's been hard on him, and not fair. But now he laughs. We work together to do most things, and we're trying to get to the point where we can buy him a new house. My sisters and I are all working. But the most important part is that we still have each other. I'm grateful for that. Hello. I have a medical bed that you can have, but it's located in southeastern Florida. I sent a PM and we'll see what we can do. I own a moving company and would love to give you free transport. PM sent. These are the sorts of things that really warm my heart when everyone comes together to do something nice for somebody else. A group of rough-looking boys walked past me today, and all I heard of their conversation was, "He's got that anxiety disorder, bro," so I went with him so he'd be more comfortable, and it made me realise that the world isn't all that bad. The pet store I worked at had a pen with rabbits near the front door. On every side of the pen were huge signs saying, "You can pet me, but don't pick me up." One day, 2 absolutely huge guys came in, and one immediately reaches into the pen to grab a rabbit. Before he could say anything, his friend grabbed his arm and asked him, "Did you see the sign?" He said, yeah, it says you can pick them up but don't pet them. Then he went quiet for a moment and softly said, I didn't read it right, did I? And his friend just puts his arm on his shoulder and says, it's okay, I know you've got that thing where words get mixed up, let's just pet these cute little things. And I still haven't gotten over that interaction. I was walking my dog through Boston because he doesn't like car rides. He's a little thing, to be honest, we call him short and long. So this huge scary man with a full beard approaches me like, hey, can my buddy and I pet your dog? He gets nervous around dogs, but yours is so small I think it's a good place to start. Of course I was like, yeah, he's very friendly. So this guy brings his equally big friend over and they sit on the floor while this man looks terrified of my tiny dog. So big man number 1 asks, can I pick him up? And I say yes. So he picks him up and puts him on man number 2's lap, and man number 2 is about to freak out and his friend just straight up goes, hey man, it's okay. Just relax, I'd never let anything hurt you. He's a good boy. I'll never forget it ever because I know that man looked at me, 5'3", glasses, probably wearing a sweater vest, and my dog, kinda goofy looking little thing, and was like, ah yes, the 2 least intimidating living things I've seen in Boston all day. He'll feel relaxed around them, and went out of his way to help his friend. It makes me so happy. I sell on eBay and got this in the mailbox today. I found many old VHS tapes recently and wanted to see what's on them, and I realised I had no player. So I went to eBay for the first time and discovered your offer. I bought your VHS and you shipped it within a few days. The VHS looks new and unused. Amazing. I had some issues getting it going, which were mine and not the player. I am 86 and perhaps not up to my game, but I do get there eventually. And I did. And discovered the VHS works perfectly. Thank you so much for your care, your efforts and your promptness. I watched tapes of my retirement party from 25 years ago, which I had never seen before. Geez, we were young. Then a tape of my wedding with all my family and friends, many of which are no longer around. Then skiing trips, kids growing up, travels, and most importantly, the gentle maturing of my family, each one more fun than the last. And thanks to your generous selling of the VHS player, I thought you would appreciate how much someone has enjoyed your offer. Best regards. I don't know why or how, but someone's cutting onions in my room, I swear. I serve this cute old man and woman every day, and today I asked them how long they've been married. They smiled at each other and said, honey, we aren't married. She's my best friend. Ever since my wife and her husband have passed, we take care of each other. She's all I have. I know this is weird, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm a 38-year-old lady. I have a 19-year-old son who's away at basic training. I miss him dearly, so when I get sad and I miss him a lot, I watch you. I watch you because you guys are so similar in your mannerisms and articulation. So, in a weird way, thank you for being you and putting yourself out here to strangely comfort some old mum who's missing her baby. Adopted cat finally knows she's safe. So, last year, me and my boyfriend adopted a cat. We'd been looking for a while, and the moment I saw her photo, I knew she was the one. We took her home, and she had some odd behaviour. The one that broke me the worst was that she'd only eat half her food. No matter how much she put down, she'd save half. We were told they do that when they've been abandoned and starving, so they save some for later. After nearly 2 years with us, today is the first day she ate all her food and left me with an empty plate. She knows she's home and safe. My heart can't. Since this is a wholesome video, I thought I would tell you the story of Markus. For those of you who don't know or are new, Markus is my cat who features at the end of my videos. I've had him for nearly 10 years now and we're best friends. It all started when I was living in my own house and I felt like I was able to make big decisions. So I decided to get a cat. Originally I wanted to adopt a kitten. I went around the animal shelters and I didn't find any cat that I felt a connection to. Then one day I seen an advert on Facebook of this woman who rescues cats and rehomes them. I contacted her and asked her if she had any kittens and she said that she did. So I went over to her house and she took me to this large room in her house with different sections, I guess. There was a little gated off area for kittens, then there was an isolated area for sick cats and who were receiving treatment, and then there was this big wall of carrier cases filled with cats. I couldn't really believe what I was seeing, but the woman was dedicated to rescuing all the cats. I wandered over to the kittens and seen a little one that I really liked, but something in the back of my head told me to wander over to the wall of cat carriers, and then I seen him, and his massive quizzical green eyes looking back at me. Markus is huge. He's the biggest cat I've ever seen apart from a massive Maine Coon once, and he just looked so uncomfortable, unsure and frightened in this little cat carrier. I asked the woman what his story was, and she told me he'd been abandoned in a house a few weeks ago. His owner just left one day and never came back, and it was the landlord who'd found Markus and contacted the woman. So that was basically all I needed to know. I wanted to give Markus the best life possible. That day I took him to the vet and then I took him home. The vet estimated that he was around 2 years old at the time, and he was so afraid that it may have been a sign of neglect from his previous owner. So gaining Markus's trust was my first major milestone. The first week at my house he hid behind the sofa. He wouldn't come out to eat his food until I left the room. After a week or so he did come out to eat his food with me in the room, but he would crawl across the floor practically on his belly, just scared of his surroundings. It was really heartbreaking, but I was determined. I remember all of our breakthroughs. The first time he jumped up on the sofa and sat near me, or the first time that he properly looked at me, or let me pat him without flinching. Over the years we built up a solid foundation of trust. He would sleep at the bottom of my bed, and this gradually turned into sleeping curled up into me. He would let me cuddle him, kiss him on the head and mess about with his paws. I even taught him tricks. I wanted to teach him with hand commands, so he knows how to come over, how to sit, and how to sit up and let me boop his nose. Over the years his personality has really come out, and he's so confident now compared to the scared cat I seen in a carrier case all those years ago. At the end of my videos I usually show Markus sleeping in his bed. That bed is right beside my computer, because Markus always just loves to chill with me when I'm doing something. If he's sleeping in another room and I call him, usually for dinner, he'll always come running to see what's up. If I'm downstairs watching TV, he'll curl up with me. But it isn't just me who's helped him. He's been there when I've been at my lowest. The days when I didn't feel like getting out of bed, where I wanted to hide from the world, but he forced me, because if I didn't get out of bed, then he wouldn't get his breakfast or dinner, and I can't say no to his wee face. So that's all for r/WholesomeMemes and r/MadeMeSmile. I really hope you did enjoy it. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. There are also links to my Discord and Patreon in the description if you'd like to support me. It's really appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!